Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyre69. Welcome back to the channel, and what a nice clutch these battles are. We have two replays for you, and both are fantastic clutches. And first up, we have Bully. We have Bully Maguire driving the 113. So the 113, as we know, is one of the highest, or if it is the highest DPM heavy tank in tier 10. But it is quite a difficult tank to play, to be honest. It's got a nice turret, doesn't have the gun depression, and it's quite slow. It is quite a slow, especially on the traverse. But it's all about that turret, and it's all about that DPM. So if you can get into a position where you are hold down and you're able to farm the enemy, then that is fantastic. And this is what our guy is going to do. And of course, mines is the map. Now this is the best map for pretty much any hold down tank, because it's very small. Most people go to the medium here, and yeah, it's I don't personally like the map too much. I definitely don't think it should be in higher tier. I think this should be in just the lower tier matchups. Especially as there used to be maps like Lost Temple, Mirage, where they actually removed these maps for higher tiers, but they've always left mines. So yeah, so he can't really push the middle on his own at the minute. There are a lot of tanks around. He's still able to get the shots off. Unfortunately, bounces on the 60 TP. But if you look at his team, they are literally just everywhere. They are pretty much all over the place. So if he pushes the middle, then he could just get rushed, and he could actually just be be deleted. So he is missing a few shots, but already he is up to sort of 2 minutes gone. Hasn't done the best of damage so far, and there goes the Centurion 7-1, and a member of his team is dead. So it is a 6 versus 6, and again, only 1500 damage. He's probably missed more shots than he's penned at the moment, but he does still have a little bit of backup, and the 60 TP is not really a tank that you want to push, and it's quite a difficult tank when that is in a hold down position as well. But what this tank has over the 60 TP is that DPM. The 60 TP doesn't have brilliant DPM, but even though he bounced that shot, he has now allowed the 60 TP to reload his shell and sort of not take any other damage. And again, the 60 TP gets another bounce. So it's not looking too good at the moment. There is only 4 minutes left on the clock, and still it is a 6 versus 6, and our guy is only on 2.3k damage at the moment. But he has blocked 1400 damage. Now he's blocked 2000 damage, and now he can just rip into this 60 TP. No idea why this 60 TP decided to rush. Well, God knows why. He could have just turned around or even stayed where he was. But the Yag Tiger is now gone. The 60 TP up there is potentially a one-shot, and it is now a 5 versus 6. So it's they've got their work cut out, and there now goes the Hori. So it's now a 4 versus 6. The enemy are pushing around, but of course, look, his team have decided to cap. He is the only one attacking here, whilst the rest of his team are all capping. Like, what are you doing, team? But that's actually dragged all these enemies to him, and of course he does clear the 60 TP. 86 supremacy points now, sorry, base capture points. He's on 90, 92. Are they going to be able to do this? There is a tank going into the cap. 98. They got to 98 before it got reset. That is very, very close. But of course, because of that, the rest of the red team has literally just rushed into the cap area, and he's able to farm a little bit more damage. So he's now up to 5.3k damage, would you believe it? And he's actually done pretty well, but you know, he's now alone against 3 tanks. Yes, hack, says the T92. The WT is hacking. Wow, did you know that? People can hack the game. The WT, the Waffle, is actually hacking the game. Wow, that's not good if he's hacking. So again, 3,600 block damage, and he does block the 60 TP, but again, because of the DPM, he's now able to push forward, and hopefully he does clear, and he does clear indeed, now bringing it down to a 1 versus 2. They've got the Waffle, and they've got the Yag Panzer E100, so it's one shot from each of these guys. So even though he's got most of his hit points left, or at least just over half of his hit points, one shot from each of these guys will pretty much be game over. But the time is running out. The time is going down. Just less than 2 minutes left on the clock, and he's not looking at doing anything other than stay put and be patient. And that's what you got to do. You have to be patient. Being patient wins games, and that's something I need to start doing more regularly, because I am not a patient person. I kind of get bored. At this point, I would have probably just dropped down and tried looking for these guys, but he has the higher ground and he has the best position pretty much. And here is now the Jaegeru. So he gets a nice shot there on the Jaegeru to put his damage now up to 6,100, but he still needs to be careful of the waffle that is around somewhere. But currently we don't know where the waffle is, and we don't know how many hit points. Nice track there on the Jaegeru. That was an absolute must. And again, because of this DPM, you kind of forget, people kind of forget how good this DPM is on this tank. And unfortunately he does get shot from the Jaegeru, and now the waffle is coming behind him, so he's just going to go forward. Again, he goes for the track, which was so important. That was absolutely important. And again, he does low roll, but the waffle misses his shot, and now the Jaegeru just cannot do anything. So he does still have just less than 1,000 hit points left, so he can actually take a shot. And with 40 seconds left on the clock, he goes for the reload. He then turns around, and now he's just going to rush this guy. He should be able to clear him with one shot. He could use HE, but he is going just for the standard APCR, and as I've said, he can actually take a shot from this waffle. So he's now, with 20 seconds left on the clock, he is going to push forward. He does get again another bounce, and he gets the kill. So 4,300 blocked damage there, but also he ends on 8,100 damage. Well played. 5 kills, nearly 300,000 credits earned. Absolutely crazy. And Bully Maguire, really nice game in the 1-1-3. So thank you for sending that replay. Next up, we have an FV4005, and we're watching Six Monkeys. Again, just like the 1-1-3, the 4005 is a very difficult tank to play. It's got no armor. It does have the spool liner, which I would recommend running the spool liner. I would also recommend running the speed boost, and I'd recommend running the intraclip reload, as you can see there. So that drops the intraclip reload pretty much almost half in this tank. And with the speed boost, that is very important for this tank. You take away then consumables, and then pretty much the tank is just an average tank. It has got free shells, and you can deal a lot of damage in this tank, but again, because you've got literally 0 armor, you can get absolutely torn apart. So you have to be very careful. You have to choose your tanks wisely, and you have to just not be frontline, because if you are frontline, people will focus you and you will get torn apart. So he is spotted, and again, because he's spotted, he has to be very careful. Now, the best thing with this tank is go for the tanks with around 1100 to 1200 HP, because then you should be able to clear these guys, because you can do sort of 460, 470 alpha, and as you can see, they're almost 490 per shot there. And before you know it, one tank is down, but that guy over there is now a one shot, and the grill is going to go and try and push forward. Not a good thing to do if you're in a grill playing frontline like he is, and he does get a nice shot, almost 450 alpha. So it does have a long reload. Sorry about that. It does have a long reload, not too long, but again, when you're getting rushed by medium tanks and stuff like that, tanks with DPM, and because you've got no armor, you're not really going to bounce anything. Now he's coming up against 60 TP here. He could get torn apart from the 60 TP. I know the 60 TP doesn't quite have the DPM. Now he has just taken half of his hit points, and he's going to use that speed boost to get around this corner. And this is how important that speed boost is. Some people don't run it with a speed boost, but I'd always recommend all the time, 100% of the time, run it with that speed boost, because it really does help. And as soon as he's reloaded, he can then again pop back out and take out that 60 TP. So now he is on 3,400 damage, and that is the thing with this kind of tank. If you pen all your shells, your damage will go up very, very quickly, and sometimes you wouldn't have thought that you've done the damage that you have. Like, it doesn't feel like he's done 3.5k damage. It doesn't feel like that at all. It feels probably like 2k damage and something like that. But yeah, there's another kill. Very important kill, and again, he's got 2 shells remaining, and he is going to try and get them both out on the tortoise, and before you know it, he's now a 1-shot. So he can just back up while he's on a reload and go for the targets. Now, it is a 4 versus 5, so he has to be very, very careful. The T30 is up there. Just watch this T30's hit points. He is full hit points. Our guy has now used that speed booster. He's reloaded, in intra-click reload is only 2.1 seconds, and of course, gone. Just vanished. He was full hit points and he just literally vanished, and now it is a 3 versus 4, but there is still a couple of 1-shots, but there is a Vickers that is still going to be very dangerous. So 6,000 damage now. He has reloaded and he is going to take out the grill there, and now I was thinking, you know what, he's got to really ignore that Vickers at this point. I know he's full hit points and he could be a nuisance, but there are other tanks around that are a 1-shot, and I thought he actually ruined this for the team, and I know he gets both of them shells out, and now he is up to 7.5k damage, but this VK is now getting rushed by 2 tanks, and with the Vickers behind, he's getting rushed by 3 tanks. Now, he could have cleared both of these tanks if he would have gone for these 2 instead of the Vickers, but instead he does get behind. The VK does take out the E5, and he does get the side of the tortoise, and it now just leaves this Vickers, but the Vickers does take care of the VK, so it's now a 1 versus 1, and I mean, he's got hit points. He's got a lot of hit points left, but if he misses, I mean, if he misses 2 shells against this Vickers, the Vickers can just HE him to death, and if he's not running the spool liner, he could just be deleted, and it's not easy to try and catch up with a Vickers, even in a tank like this that is quite quick, especially when you're using the speed boost. It is still quite quick, so the only way he's going to do this is try and pretend that he was going one way. He tries to cut the Vickers off, and he has now reloaded all 3 shells. It's only going to take 2 shells to clear this Vickers, but he needs to make sure these shot pens. So at the moment, can't find him, but he is spotted, and it's never good to be spotted by a light tank, especially when you don't know where they are. So luckily, he does manage to spot the Vickers. He's only been shot once, and now he needs to kind of rush this guy. He still has to wait a little bit until he gets the speed boost, because he really needs that speed boost. But he also needs to make all these shots count. So he does get a nice shot there into the Vickers to now bring him down to a 1-shot if he can at least average roll, as long as he doesn't low roll, and this is where he's going to use that speed boost. But he is still getting shot from the Vickers. The Vickers is not making it easy for him. He needs to make both of these shots pen, and again he gets a horrible shot there. Now he is just a 2-shot to the Vickers. If the Vickers carries on doing what he's doing, then he could win the game, and again he gets another shot. He misses his shot, but he gets that final shot. That was a lucky shot at the end, but well played. Well played to the Vickers as well, and very unlucky, but 8,500 damage, absolutely well played. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm meadsy69, and I will catch you all soon. Bye-bye.